Hello, relatives. Welcome to this week's Schlagbite for the week October 20th, 2008, entitled Disabled by Bullshit. We are in the midst of a presidential campaign whose rhetoric is becoming increasingly acrimonious. It features all kinds of distortions and half-truths and frank lies. But we're also in the middle of an unparalleled economic crisis that also features half-truths, distortions, and unregulated greed. Who do you trust nowadays? I mean, other than your mother. We are drowning in bullshit, half-truths, distortions, and lies, and are sadly growing accustomed to it. We accept the fact that people can say and do whatever they want, as long as they can get away with it. And this is not just about politicians and bankers. It's about all of us. Last week, I saw a man, probably in his late 60s, park his Cadillac convertible in a handicapped space in front of my health club. He got out wearing spiffy workout clothes, and he didn't look handicapped in any way that I could see. But he's got a handicapped plate, so I asked him as I walked in if he was handicapped. And he raised his voice and told me that it was none of my business. I don't know anything about his medical history and that I ought to shut up, he said. And I responded that I couldn't see any obvious handicap, and if he didn't have one, that he should stop abusing the privilege of the plate. So he shouted at me to stop harassing him, and I told him that if he felt threatened by me, then call the cops, which of course he didn't want to do, so we ran away into the club instead. To get a disability access license plate in any state in the union, you have to have an impaired ability to walk. And the criteria for impairment vary a bit from state to state, but they are all quite detailed. You qualify if you're unable to walk 200 feet without having to stop and rest. If you need an assistive device to walk. If you have diminished lung capacity, which is measured by a forced expiratory volume of less than a liter, if you have to use oxygen, if you have a class 3 or 4 heart disease, or if you are severely limited by arthritic, neurological, or orthopedic conditions. And it's the last one that invites the most bullshit. Most people over 50 have some aches and pains, and most have some anatomic changes in bones and joints, a little arthritis, some osteoporosis, narrowing of the disc spaces, sciatica, and an x-ray, bone scan, and MRI are going to show something. And you can always find a doctor who will sign the requisite forms if you tell them that you're in chronic pain. But this guy in the Cadillac, I mean, he's running on the treadmill upstairs. He's not disabled, he's abusing the system. The New York Times recently did a cover story outlining this disability scam. Virtually every career employee who retires from the Long Island Railroad over the age of 50 gets disability payments soon after their retirement. Can you imagine a workforce that would have a 90% disability rate? And it's not just the engineers and the conductors or track workers who are looking for disability payments. Management is doing it as well. And most of these people were able-bodied before they retired. But the day after retirement, they became incapacitated by their disabilities. The article had photographs of them golfing, sailing, working out. This disability epidemic is simply another manifestation of a culture that is drowning in deceit. It has become virtually un-American not to try to get away with as much as you can. And if you get caught, you can always blame it on somebody else. We need to stop gaming the system by lying our way out of our own responsibility, because this bullshit is disabling us economically and spiritually. So that's what I'm thinking at this time and at this week. Whatever else happens out there, remember that we're all together. Nobody makes it alone. Stay connected. It helps us through all the difficult times. Have a great week. For those of you in Europe, I will be in Germany doing a Turtle Island Project retreat in Steyerberg in mid-November. Take a look at the homepage. To all of you, I say peace, joy, and blessings on our shared journey I say this for all my relations, mitaquiesce.